It's the best sport on the planet.
It is, and it's all action.
This should be a good bout really between Samu and Greg, because they've both been trained at Aspel. Samu came over when he was very, very young and did a couple of years with us actually as a young kid. He couldn't speak any English when he first arrived, but and Greg's been coaching for us. Two very, very good, explosive wrestlers. Know what they're doing. Samu's looking for a leg lock for a submission, and Greg's looking for a crossface. Now he's sitting back and they're moving that quick from move to move. They're both on top of the game here. If Samu's not lucky, he's going to get suplexed. That's a 3/4 Nelson, which Sam's counted it, which I'd expect him to do. Greg's counted that. That's catch wrestling at its best. He put him moves on and counted him. The referees put him down. In amateur wrestling, they put him stood up, but because he's underneath when he goes off the mat, they put him back down. Samu's got a submission there, which last time that was done was 50 years ago, that submission with Bob Robertson and Belshaw. It's 50 years since we've had a catch wrestling. That's the first catch wrestling match for 50 years in Wigan, and it's ended in the same way, but this time it's ended with a Japanese fella grabbing the foot. They're still best of friends. That's what makes it a good sport. This should be a very, very good bout between Yassi from Finland, who's an MMA Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter, who's been training with us all week learning catch, wrestling Ian Jones from Doncaster, who has also spent a lot of time with us doing catch. So they both know what they're doing, and they're both jockeying now for positions. And if you notice, our referee is very, very accomplished. He's not standing in front of anybody all the time so they can't see. He's moving round and he's keeping a good distance away so we can see exactly what's happening. Ian there's counted Yass's move, and he's now jockeying for a good position, looking for moves. He's after his far elbow near foot. He's lifting him up, trying to lift him up. Yes, he tried to take it a near elbow then, but Ian is too clever for that. Paul's looking round, seeing that everything's in. He's walking around all the time, putting himself in good positions without being on top of them. And if you'll notice, he's away from the crowd, so he's not stood in front of anybody. Very accomplished referee. Yes, he then tried a fair elbow, but Ian was in front of him. He was on top of his game. That's a good crossface. Very good crossface. Now he's hooking in. Ian is controlling this boat very well. He's very good at cross-facing, Ian. We've spent a lot of time on it. That move is very, very painful. And he's submitted with it. This should be a very entertaining bout with Bobby from Ian Bromley's club from Manchester. Very good club. Both these wrestlers have done 12 months with us on a commitment programme. Mark, he's from Wales, South Wales, Cardiff. Very, very accomplished wrestler. This should be a very good bout. Mark there just missed an headlock. Bobby's tried a cross butter but missed it. Our Marcus countered it. He's now looking for an head roll. Bobby's after his leg. But Mark's not letting him have it. This should be a very, very good contest. Bobby's sitting under there with an headlock on him. Marcus countered it. Very good. The positioning's very good. They're not giving much away. Bobby's really struggling under here. In wrestling, if you were underneath, you're at a very big disadvantage. Bobby's doing his best to get out of it, but Mark is controlling him good. Bobby eventually has reversed it. Bobby's looking for a crossface, an headlock or a crossface. Bobby's done a good head roll there, but he's not capitalised on it. Even though straddles are not allowed, these are just as effective. The cross faces are very effective. Underneath you are really, really struggling. Bobby had a very good move on there, and he would have got a submission, but what he's done is he's leaned out of position, and Mark has leaned back and grabbed his head. That could have quite easily have gone the other way. This boat is between Rowe from the USA and Stephen Greenfield from Wales. These two are doing a lot of weighing up. They don't want to finish up underneath. If you finish up underneath at catch wrestling, which both these wrestlers know, they will struggle. They're just testing one another out for strength, weighing one another's positions up, not giving much away. Raoul is controlling his hand, one of his hands, which is a good technique because nobody can wrestle with one hand. Raoul tried to do a duck under though then, and I think Stephen should have let him do it and countered it. And Steve is making the mistake of letting Raoul have the loose hand. He's tried to duck under again, and Steve he's blocking it instead of countering it. There Stephen's tried a cross buttock and Raoul has countered it. That's experience. Raoul tried 3 moves then what Steve could have countered, and the first time Stephen tried a move, Raoul did counter it.
Take the half and drive. Take the half and drive. Take the half and drive. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it.
Well, now after a toe hold. Because of Stephen's strength, he's not going to be able to execute that move.
Throw your right arm under all the way. Commit to it, Raoul. Commit. 2 hands. All the way through. Through the hip. Through the hip. 2 hands. Through the hip. Through the hip. All the way through.
Stephen has set himself very, very strong. And Raoul is moving from move to move, just seeing to be what's available. Steve has got his foot flat on the floor there, so that he can't get his hand underneath it and lift his foot up. Very clever wrestling that a lot of people wouldn't realise. You can see how his near foot is flat on the floor.
Keep it down, Raoul.
Raoul is trying other tactics. He's realised he's not going to get the leg submission on, so he's now looking on the head. He's moving from one position to another.